everybody, welcome to the Hacienda. Rivet here. Today we're going to make something interesting. We're going to make Teff Porridge. And what is Teff, you might ask? Well, this is it. Teff is the world's oldest grain that is known to have been, grown and eaten. It appears in the Old Testament, and there are written records dating 4,000 years ago of people's eating this. Teff is a wild grass, and the seeds are minuscule, so small that a quarter cup of teff seed grain could plant an entire acre of teff grass. Teff comes from Ethiopia and the Fertile Crescent, and today it is grown in Idaho. This is American teff. Very difficult to plant and grow, obviously, because the seeds are so small, but it is one of those wonder foods. It is super high in protein, super high in niacin, super high in fiber and iron. And put on your tinfoil hats, people, because it's amazing. It acts like gluten. It gets sticky, but there is no gluten in it. And how convenient that at the birthplace of mankind, that kind of grass seed was available with such good nutrition. You know, just the same as rutabagas. They grow wild in Scandinavia, and a rutabaga has more vitamin C than a grapefruit. That's why the Vikings never got scurvy. How convenient is that? Okay, let's start cooking. Now, I have never made Teff Porridge before, but I have made injera bread. And injera utilizes Teff flour, and it's an Ethiopian flatbread, and it's very, very tasty. So I am going to add, excuse me, 3 cups of milk, and apparently the ratio of Teff flour, rather than the grain, to the liquid is 3-to-1, and I got 1 cup of Teff. So I'm going to let the butter melt and the milk get hot before I add the flour. Okay, so now we're adding 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and the milk and the butter is now hot, and we're going to start adding the Teff flour. Now, you can make porridge with the Teff grains, but it looks granular, and I didn't want that because you cannot make injera bread with the Teff grains. You got to have Teff flour, and I'm planning on making injera bread as well. And I got to make the sponge, and it takes about 4 days to ferment. And then so next weekend I'll make a video on how we're making injera bread. So anyway, let me stir this up. I'm going to turn it down to medium heat, and join me then. Wow, this porridge is thickening up nicely. Wow, way thicker than I thought. I may have to add a little bit more milk, but it smells delicious. Teff has a very nice nutty flavor, kind of like a mixture of hazelnuts and walnuts. Very nice. It has some grassy undertones because, of course, it is grass. But I'm going to turn the heat off now, and we're going to keep cooking this so the floury flavor goes away and it gets cooked through. Okay, so I ended up adding another 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of milk, because this is the consistency you want. Okay, and all the lumps have gone out, and it's got such a delicious flavor, and I tasted it. Perfect amount of salt and butter. So let's plate it up and try it. Okay, here it is plated up. It smells really nice, has a good looking color, but that's not all. We got to jazz it up. First off, we got some chopped fresh parsley, which is going to go really well. You can make this porridge either sweet or savory. Now, I'm going with savory, so we got parsley, and I got some chopped bacon. What's there not to like with chopped bacon, right? We're going with a savory Teff Porridge. All right, let's try it. This is really exciting. I've been looking forward to making this for a long time. So let's go ahead and try it with some bacon and, oops, and parsley. Okay. Yeah. Teff flavor definitely begs for savory, not sweet. Although I'm sure it could fit. But Teff has such a nutty, earthy flavor. Yeah, and oh, let me tell you, the butter, it's coming through. Very, very nice. That is a nutritious meal. And it's very smooth. As opposed to if you were using the grains, it would be very granular. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, the flavor would be the same. But I like the looks of this. I bet you that would be great with cheese and shrimp. Just like cheese grits, cheese and shrimp grits. This would be perfect. That is an outstanding protein-packed meal. Definitely. I'll make that again. Thanks for watching, people. Y'all take care. This is delicious.